Shikshashtakam was composed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, 500 years ago. As you already know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu strongly advised that for this age, Kali Yuga, chanting of God's name is very important, alone can take us to the ultimate goal. In this age, life has become very complex and becoming more complex every day. So we cannot do intense spiritual sadhanas as the earlier people used to do. Long years of tapasya in the forest. They used to go to Vanaprastha ashrama, to the forest, or to the Himalayas and do tapas. Those things we cannot do now. Most of us cannot do. Only small number of people can do it. But for majority of us, the simplest kind of spiritual sadhana is to simply repeat God's name with devotion. In the first stanza, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the names of God are many. He is one, but names can be many. And the name of God contains the same power as God. There is a saying that there is no difference between name and the named. Nam or Nami. There is no difference. So, if you call upon God by calling His name, chanting His name, then He will be there. He is already there. We become aware of His presence. So that simplest, the repetition of God's name is the simplest form of spiritual practice, complete in itself. You don't have to do anything else if you do that constantly. That is what he taught. Very suitable, appropriate, and all of us can do. All of us cannot do other forms of sadhana, meditation, etc. We cannot do, difficult. But chanting God's name, any name of your choice, anybody can do. And there is no, Mahaprabhu says in the shloka, that for chanting His name there is no special qualification required. And there is no special requirement that you have to fulfill. Any place, anybody, anywhere, anytime. Apavitra pavitro va sarvavasthangato piva yasmaret pundarikaksham sabhahyabhyantara. In any condition you are traveling, there is no rules for muddy, for chanting God's name. For puja, etc., you have to follow all the rules. You have to take bath, change your clothes, and everything must be proper, things must be arranged properly, mantra must be properly chanted, all those things we have to know. But for chanting God's name, none of those requirements. Anybody, any place, any time, any condition, even if you are lying on the bed, if you cannot get up, we can chant God's name. In itself is a complete spiritual practice leading us to Him. If we chant His name, His name will take us to Him. That is the main teaching. And that's what he did all his life. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. He also did not do other kinds of tapasya that other rishis did. Chanting God's name. He said, I don't know where he said, this shloka is ascribed to him. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Kalau nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyatha. Kalau means Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. Anyatha gatir nasti. There is no other way, there is no other way. What is the way available to us? Simplest way. Hare Nama, chanting of Hari's name, any name. All names are Hari's name, God's name. Hare Nama Iva Kevalam, that only is enough, sufficient and complete to take us to the ultimate goal. The Shikshashtakam is hymn, it glorifies this practice. When we chant God's name, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says with what attitude we should chant. With great humility, with forbearance, titiksha, and not claiming respect for oneself. Look at me, I'm chanting God's name, I'm bigger, I'm greater. We should not say that. Humility, humble. These are the qualities we have to cultivate for chanting God's name. There should be no pride. Then he says, Tranadipi sunicena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniyas sada harihi. Sada harihi kirtaniya. Always we chant God's name. Any name of your choice. All names are His names. Sada hari kirtaniya. How? Trunadapi sunicena. Humbler than a blade of grass. Humility is very important in a bhakta. Pride should not be there. Amanitvam, adambitvam, that we studied in the Gita, like that. Humility is very important. Amanina, no. Trunadipi sunicena, taroripi saishnuna. Saishnuta means forbearance. Whatever difficulties come in life, they come. Everybody's life, sometime or other, something or other happens. When difficulties come, you have to forbear it. As we discussed earlier, we can do two things. We can anticipate problems and take preventive measures, whatever is possible. Even if you take all preventive measures available, still problems will come. When problems come, then we can take remedial measures, whatever measures are possible. If you become sick, we take medicine, etc. Remedial measures. Even after that, problems will remain, new problem will come, something else will happen. So that after we have finished everything that we can do, then we have to accept whatever suffering comes calmly. Chinta vila parahitam satitiksha nigadyate sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vila parahitam. Chinta means brooding, worrying. Worrying about the past, brooding about the past, what happened, and brooding about future, oh this may happen, that may happen. We do that, so we have to try not to do that. Chinta rahitam, vilapa rahitam. Vilapa means lamentation. All the time talking about our difficulties, not necessary. With one or two very close people, you can talk and they will give you comfort, solace. That's good. To unburden oneself, but not with everybody all the time. Too much lamentation is not good. Chinta vilapa rahitam satitiksha, that is titiksha. Tarorapi saishnuna. Taru means a tree. Tree is often given and cited as an example of saishnuta. It stands there in the open area under the sky, cannot move about, fixed in one place. Rain or shine, snow, whatever, wind, it has to bear everything and continue to do its function, giving fruits and flowers. And even if the tree is cut, it serves as timber. Whole life is giving, not claiming anything for itself. Whatever rainfall comes with that, sustaining from nutrition from the soil, living like that. Forbearance, Amanina. Third quality is not claiming honor, respect for oneself. We should not think I am a great devotee, I have so much devotion, I chant God's name 4,000 times a day. Like this, we should not have pride in chanting God's name with great humility. Amanina, not claiming honor, respect for oneself, but we have to respect everybody. Manadena. Manada means one who gives respect to others. These are the qualities of a devotee. Then another sloka in the Shikshashtakam, there Chaitanya says, when we pray to God, what we should ask of Him. In the Gita we studied, we can ask some things from God. Chaturvidha bhajante mam janasu kritinordjana. Who are they? Artha, jignasu, arthati, jnani. So there he says, Udara sarva evete. Whoever worships God, prays to God, even asking for some routine, ordinary things. Some people want a job. What do? You pray to God. Jobless person has to support the family, so there's no harm. He does not say it is wrong. You can pray. Visa Venkateshwara Isa. So it's okay to pray for things, authority, whatever we need. In the beginning, stages of devotion. Or that means a person in distress, any kind of problem comes, you can pray to God. There's no harm. That's okay, he said. But then later on, as our understanding deepens, our devotion becomes a little bit better, purer, then we come to the realization that does he not already know what is happening to me? He knows before I know what is happening to me. He is my antaryami, he is sitting within me. In my hridayantara, he is antaratman, he is sitting there. So I don't have to remind him, I don't have to ask him. He gives me whatever he thinks is proper, appropriate for me. I don't have to ask him for anything. So pure devotion means no asking, no seeking. Good or bad, suffering or whatever, for bearing everything calmly without asking for anything. Everything happens by His grace. That firm conviction will come. It takes some time. So that's why in 18th chapter, beginning, second shloka, he said, Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam kavayo viduhu. Giving up all kamya karmas, including prayer for this and that. Whatever he gives, unsolicited, without my asking, with that I'll be happy, content. That maturity, contentment will come. It will take some time, but it will come. Then there is no asking. A true bhakta does not ask for anything. Chala vasantushtaha tundvatita vimatsara. There is chala vasantushtaha. Whatever comes unsolicited, aprarthit, with that devotee remains happy, content, no seeking. To reach that stage of no seeking, it will take some time. In the meantime, seeking is okay. He says all day, if you want something, ask God. He himself says it's okay to ask God for things. That is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, when you pray to God, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, don't ask for anything, routine things. Does he not know? Whatever is good for me, he will give without my having to remind him or ask him. So in the Shikshashtakam he says, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. Jagadisha, O Prabhu, Lord of the universe. Na dhanam kamaye. I don't want wealth. Ordinary person say, I don't have enough money, I want a promotion, I want more money. You can ask. But a true bhakta, no. Na dhanam kamaye. Whatever comes, with that I'll be happy, content. Na janam kamaye, people. Na sundarim kamaye, I don't want a beautiful spouse. But later on, as our devotion becomes stronger and purer, our understanding matures, then we come to the conclusion why we should ask. Whatever I am supposed to get will come to me, he will grant it. With whatever he gives, with that I'll be happy, content, like that. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. Adhanam, nadhanam, nasuntirim va jagadisha kamaye. But you can always ask for one thing from God. All the teachers said, you can always ask, and you should ask for something. What is that? Ahayataki bhakti. Motiveless, pure devotion. That we can ask. We should ask from God. When we pray to God, we should pray to God, please give me pure devotion, like that. Mama janmani, in all my births, in this birth, and if I have to take more births in the future, in those births also, Tvayi Ishware, in you, O Lord, Ahayataki bhakti bhavata. May I have pure devotion. That is allowed, that we should ask God for only one thing, that is devotion to God. You can ask for Jnana Vairagya also. Bhakti Jnana Vairagya, we can have those sort of things we should ask. We should have them. That is another instruction in the Shiksha. Shiksha means instruction. Ashtaka means 8 stanzas, hymn containing 8 stanzas, shlokas. Then the third one, I remember only 3 of the 8, is when you pray to God, we should have intense yearning, vyakulata. Sri Ramakrishna calls it vyakulata. Vyakulata means intense longing for God. Not very mild, manda madhyama rupa. We all have intensity, otherwise would not be even praying to God, coming to temple, etc. We want to know God, we want to see God. We want this, so we are here. But it should be so intense that nothing else should make sense. Just like Sri Ramakrishna gives a parable, tells a parable, story. There was a Gurukula and many boys were there staying in the teacher's home, ashrama. And the teacher used to say all these things. We should pray to God every day, we should pray for nothing but devotion, etc., etc. And then after some time, one of the boys asked the teacher, "Sir, I've been attending all your classes for quite some time, and whatever you say I'm doing, prayer, etc. But so far I have not seen God. How long will it take for me to see God?" The boy asks like this. So the teacher says, "Come with me," he says. So he takes the boy to the lake. Nearby there was a lake where they used to take bath. So the teacher holds the boy's hand and walks into the water. The boy has to follow him. His teacher is holding the hand. So when they went into the water for some distance, the water came up to the boy's neck level. So I was afraid, what is he going to do? So all of a sudden the teacher holds the boy's hand and pushes it and keeps it under water for a few seconds, 5 seconds. Then he releases, the boy gets up. Then the teacher asked him, "When your head was under water, what did you think?" "No, so the only thing what I wanted to get up and wanted to be able to breathe." At that time, when the boy's head is under water, nothing else makes any sense. Nothing else, even if you give him some toy or a Nintendo or something, he will push it. He wants to breathe. Nothing else. I want to breathe. That intensity that you had to breathe, longing that you had for breathe, that kind of longing you should have to see God. Mild or middle is not enough. You should intensify your longing to see God. Vyakulata. So that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, when you pray to God, your longing to see God must be so intense, nothing else must make sense. Day or night you should long for God, pray to God. Sri Ramakrishna was doing sadhana in the Dakshineshwar temple, the young man at that time. Every day he would do intense sadhana, nothing else. Then evening he would become so sad, upset, that one more day has gone in my life and I have not seen her, or means Divine Mother. I pray to her to give me darshan every day. One more day has gone in vain in my life, and still I have not had the good fortune of seeing her. To roll on the ground crying, oh mother, when will you come and show yourself to me?" Like that. The intensity was so long. People thought he was mad or something. People thought he had gone mad. But he was not. He was mad for only one thing. He was mad for God. That kind of madness is good, to be mad for God. The intensity, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, 3 things he says in another shloka. Yugayitam nimeshena Chakshusha pravrishayitam Shunyayitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahena me. Govinda viraha means separation from Govinda. Even if you forget to remember Govinda, Lord Hari, even for a short duration of time, like the twinkling of a nimeshana, even for a short period of time, if I don't remember God, When I remember later, I feel so remorse. How foolish of me to have forgotten him for 10 seconds or 1 minute. In our life, we don't have that intensity. So many whole day goes by and we are busy with all things, and evening we are not done our prayer. We don't seem to be affected, disturbed by that much. But intensity, yugaitam nimeshana. Yugaitam means a nimesha, even a second moment must appear like a long period of time. Yuga. We see that in our daily lives also. If we have not seen somebody very dear to us, very close to us for some time, when you see that person, then we feel as if a long time I have not seen for such a long time. Then it's last Sunday we met. Oh, well, 1 week looks like a long time because we are so much love is there. Yugaitam nimeshenam. Second thing is chakshusha pravarshaitam. Varsha means rain. As if monsoon has set in, so copiously tears of devotion, tears of separation, pang of separation flow from the eyes so copiously that as if monsoon has started. Chakshusha pravarshaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam. Whole world becomes empty. Everything else is there, but without God, nothing makes sense. Everything, house is there, property is there, money is there, job is there, family, children, everything is there. But He is not there. So these things don't make any meaning. They have no meaning without Him. What makes everything meaningful in our life is His presence. Sri Ramakrishna says how important God is in our life, even if we don't realize it. Because of Him only everything makes sense. Family, friends, children, body, good health, money, everything makes sense because of Him. If that is taken away, everything else is there, nothing makes sense. So he gives an example. Supposing you have a zero, put a zero on a blackboard, is of no use. Zero is zero, no value. Put another zero next to it, 2 zeros same as 2010, 20 same, zero is zero, no value. But if you put a 1 behind it, the digit one number 1 behind it, 0 becomes, meaning 1 zero becomes 10, 2 zeros becomes 100, 3 zeros become 1000. So it's the 1 that adds value to the zeros. Without the 1, the 0 has no value. So in our life, God is that 1. God is the 1 behind the zeros. Otherwise, everything is 0. But when He is there in our life, everything becomes meaningful. So we should hold on to Him. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravarshaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam. Whole world appears empty without His presence. Govinda Varikaname. So that intensity, longing must be there. So these are some points in the Shikshashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very important for devotees to learn and chant the Shikshashtakam. 18th chapter is not difficult. A lot of these things already come before in earlier chapters. So Kamyanam, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sanyasam Kavaya Viduhu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha. Vichakshana means Panditaha. Sarva Karma Phalatyagam, whatever karma we do, that karma phala we have to offer to Him, dedicate to Him. That comes so many times in the Gita. Starting from third chapter shloka number 30, 330, there he says, Mani sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. 5 instructions he gives on how to do what? 330, shloka number 30, chapter 3. 5 things, yes, important to remember. In 5 things, all the yogas are covered. Bhakti yoga, karma yoga, everything will come. First instruction is when you do some work, Mani sarvani karmani sanyasa, dedicating all karma to Him, offering it. This is for Him. I am doing as a seva, as an offering. as my offering to him, like that. Adhyatma Chetasa. Adhyatma Chetasa, the commentary, Shankara's commentary gives something very different meaning. Let me go back to 330. Mani Vasudeve Parameshware Sarvajne Sarvatmani Sarvani Karmani Sanyasya Nikshipya, offering everything to God. Adhyatma Chetasa, he says, Viveka Buddhya, with this particular attitude, Viveka. What is that attitude? Aham Karta, I am the doer, I is still there. Ideally is to give up I, but not so easy. So let the I be there. Aham Karta, Ishwaraya, Bhrityavat Karomi. Bhritya means a servant. I am the doer, that's hard to give up. I am the doer. I am not the doer, comes at a very late, advanced stage. Navakinjit Karomi. That we are not there yet. I am the doer. All right, let it be there. Let the I be there. But take the position of a Bhritya, Ishwaraya, for the Lord. Sarvani Karmani, Bhrityavat Karomi, as a servant and good. Dasya Bhava. As a servant, as a Dasa, we have to do all our work. That instruction. So Bhakti Bhava comes there. So there we have to dedicate all our actions to God. Mai Sarvani Karmani Sadhyatma Chetasa, Nirashai Bhutva, Nirmama Bhutva, Yugata Jvaraha. Jvaraha means Vita Shoka San Ityartha. Giving up tension, anxiety, stress, anger. If the expectations are not met, work does not succeed, you become angry, frustrated, bitter, and take it on other people, yelling and screaming. So all that should not be there. With calmness, whatever comes, Siddhya Siddhyo Sama Bhutva, whatever success, failure comes, accepting it with equanimity, having done our part properly. That's all we can do. That is one place, 330, where Sri Krishna says, dedicate all your actions to me. It comes in several places, dedicating actions to God. Then he says in 9th chapter, chapter 9, sloka 27, there he says, Yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yadjuhoshi, tadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tatkurushva madarpanam. Whatever karma you do at karoshi, do it as an offering to me. Everything is an offering to God. Then it says, someplace else in 18th chapter, later in 18, it will come again. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. Mentally, sarvani karmani mai sanyasya, dedicating all that. How else can we do? Physically we cannot do. But in our mind we should say, I am dedicating it, offering to God as my humble offering, as my worship. Chetasa. And then 5th chapter also it comes somewhere. 5:13. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukhammashi. Jnani dedicates all actions mentally to God. Navadvare pure de. He naiva karva nakar, neither doing something nor causing other people to do something. And then 5th chapter, in the 8 and 9 slokas, advanced level. The I is not there at all. In all these things, I is there. I am there as a servant. I am there as a child. I am there as a dasa, as an instrument. We can keep the I, but only as an instrument in his hand. He is the doer. I happen to be the instrument in his hands. He has chosen me to do this work. If I refuse, he will choose some better instrument. 100 other people are available with much better ability, qualification to do this work. That he has chosen me is a special grace. So when some work comes to us, we should be very grateful, with great joy and with great gratitude. God has given me this opportunity to do this work, chosen me as the instrument. That itself is a special gift, special grace. Like that, with gratitude, we should do the work. Any work comes to us. So that is another bhava. Where does it say, you are the instrument in my hands? निमित्तमात्रं भव त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशोलभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धं मयैते निहता पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव मया एव by me alone एते सर्वे भीष्मकर्म द्रोणादयः पूर्वमेव निहताः already taken. It's a done deal. I've done that everything. You just go through the emotion, the instrument in my hand. Nimittamatra bhava. So we are all the instruments. He is the real doer. Bhakta says he is the doer. No, I'm not the doer. I'm the doer is the ahankara vivudhatma says. I'm the doer. Ahankara vivudhatma karta mitrami. So I cannot be given up so easily. Always the feeling I persist. I'm the doer, I'm the doer. So we can keep it but give it a lesser place. As an instrument, as a servant, as a bhritya. I can still be there. At the highest level, there is no place for I at all. Action still happens, but action happens in nature, prakriti. I'm not that, I'm not the sense object, I'm not the instrument, I'm not the sense object. So Jnani does not put the I where it does not belong. So where does that come? Same chapter 5, sloka 8 and 9. The Jnani's highest level. Jnani says, Naiva kinchit karomi iti yukta manyate tattvavid. Yukta means a Jnani, yogi. Tattvavid, one who knows the truth. He says, Naiva kinchit karomi. I am not doing anything, he says. He is not doing anything, he is doing all the activities. Pashyan, Sranvan, Sprishan, Jiggan, Ashtan, Gattan, Shapan, Swasan, Pralapan, Visajan, Grandhan, Unmishan, Nimishan, all the same thing that we do, Jnanis also do. Walking, talking, speaking, eating, etc. But the Jnani says, Ajnani says, I am the doer, I am karomi, I am karta. But Jnani says, Naiva kinchit karami. Then you can ask him, you are doing all these things, how can you say you are not the doer? Then he says, Indriyani indriyartheshu vartante. Sense organs are there. Mind is also a sense organ. There are 11 sense organs. 5 karmendriyas, 5 gyanendriyas and manas. Indriyani dashakamsa. 13th chapter says, mind is also a sense organ. So one and more sense organs are there. One and more sense objects are there. Their interaction happens and that is karma. We call it karma. Indriyani indriyartheshu vartante. Where is the I? For the Jnani, he is not the sense object. I am not the book. I am not the hand holding the book. I am not the mind which says, tell the hand to hold the book. Mano buddhya ahankara chittani naham. I am not the mind also. And the Atman, Chidanandarupa Shivoham. That Jnani's position. We cannot take that one. That is a high position. Takes a long time before if we ever reach that goal. But right now, the I is there very much. Not easy to get rid of it. Let it be there. That will be, give us a place. Give it a place. But make it a servant. Make it an instrument. Make it a devotee, dasa. That's okay. Safe there. I is still there. So that is the answer to the question, who is the doer? So when we do some work, we should, in the second verse, Sri Krishna says, chapter 18, verse 2, whatever work you do it as an offering to him. Sarva karma phalita, especially karma phala we have to give. You are the karta, that we can do. I am doing this work as an offering to him. Whatever karma phala comes, that is up to him. And I will take it as prasada. Like that can be easily done. So we go back to 18. Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sanyasam kavayo viduhu sarva karma phalatyagam tyagam prahur vichakshuna. Then in the slokas 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 things Sri Krishna mentions. Yajna, dana, tapa. 3 kinds of karma. These 3 kinds of karma should be done, should not be given up. They are very important. Yajna, doing everything as offering. Yajna is offering. Even eating also must be done as yajna. Specifically mentions yadashnasi in 9th chapter. Eating also must be done as yajna. because yajna means where you do the ahuti. Yajna means that just did a yajna there. There a yajna kunda was there, homa, fire was there. You are chanting mantras, they are offering ahuti. That's what we do when we eat something. That fire is there. What is the fire? Vaishwanara Agni is there. Vaishwanaro Bhutva Vaninam Dehamasitaha. 15th chapter, verse 40. So Vaishwanara Agni is already there. 24 hours burning. That never stops. So when you put something into the mouth, ahuti, it goes to the fire directly. Who is that Yagni Vaishwanara? Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. He himself is there. So when we eat something, it should be done as ahuti, as a yajna. Eating is yajna. That's why we say Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi before we eat. We see yajna karma. In Marathi, there is a very nice shloka, which exactly says, eating is yajna. It says, this one Marathi family I went, they taught me this shloka. Exactly same as Brahmarpanam. He says, every time you take morsel of food into your mouth, take Hari's name. Vadani Kavali Geta Namadhya Sri Hari Che. Take Sri Hari's name. Sagaja Havana Hote Namageta Pukaji. Then eating becomes Havana Homa. When you call his name. Jivana Kari Jivitva. Anna he Purna Brahma. Anna is Purna Brahma. Udara Parana no he Jani Je Yajna Karma. Filling for the stomach is not eating. Udara Parana no he. Yajna Karma Jani. No, do it as Yajna. No, it is Yajna. Very nice sloka. They say before eating. So all work has to be done as an offering. That is second sloka. Sarvakana. Now in the next 3-4 slokas, Yajna Dana Tapas, everything has been done as Yajna. How to give Dana, that has come before in the earlier chapters. Tapas, very important, any kind of tapas. Chanting God's name is also tapas. Japa is also a tapas. How to do that one is explained. So we'll chant this shloka, number 3. Tyajyam doshavadityeke karma prahur manishinaha yajnadana tapah karma natyajyamiti chapare doshavad karma tyajyam iti eke manishuna prahu. Some people say that all karma should be given up. It is dosha. Karma means 3 things have to be there. There must be a karta must be there. Karanam must be there. Instrument must be there. Hand or feet or mind. Or some other sense organ must be there. And the object must be there. So all these things are only possible only in the state of ignorance. If a jnani says, I am Brahman, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the sense organs, that is jnani can say that one. Then there is no room for karma. If you are not the sense organ, not the sense object, I am not anything, indriyas, I am not the door. Naiva kinchit karomi. Indriyani indriyartheshu vartante. I am neither indriya nor indriyartha. That is the highest position. But if you are not there, then we have the kartritva, I am the doer is there. Then we have to do everything as an offering. Cannot give up karma. I am jnani, I will not do anything. You should not take that position. Some people say all karma is full of dosha, blemish, because karma means duality will come, sansar will come, indriya, everything will come. I am not those things. So karma is not for jnanis. That's one view. But the view that is more acceptable to us is second line. Yajna dana tapah karma natyajam iti cha apare. Other people say these 3 things should not be given up. Yajna should not be given up. All work is yajna. Dharma should not be given up. Tapas must not be given up. Any kind of tapas. Three kinds of tapas we saw in the 17th chapter. Shariram tapaha, Vangmayam tapaha, Manasam tapaha, we saw that one. So Sloka 14, 15, 16 in 17th chapter. That. So those karma we should not give up. Tapas should not be given up. Dana should not be given up. And yajna must not be given up. Those three things we have to do. Other thing, kamya karma you can give up. That's okay. That Krishna also says, give up kamya karma. That is the instruction. You should not give yajna, dana, tapas. Three things. Yajna, dana, tapas, karma, natyajam should not be given up. Iti chapa, other people say. Then sloka number 4 is only a linking statement. Nishtayam shruname tatra Tyage bharata sattama Tyago hi purusha vyagra Trividah samprakirtitaha Purusha vyagra, oh, tiger among men. Like this, the way of addressing Arjuna, emphasizing his heroic aspect, strength aspect. Purusha Rishabha, bull among men. Like this, Krishna uses many epithets to describe the power, strength of Arjuna. Purusha Vyagra, Tyaga, Trividaha, three kinds of Tyaga are explained. Samprakirtitaha. Listen to me, like this. Sloka number 5. This is important. 5 and 6 are important. Yajnadana tapah karma Natyajam karyameva tat Yajnyodanam tapaschaiva Pavanani manishinam 6th also. Etanyapita karmani Sangam tyaktva phalani cha Kartavyani time partha Nishchitam matamuttamam. Here in Sloka 5 and 6, Sri Krishna says, these three kinds of activity should not be given up. What are they? Yajna, dana, tapaha. Natyajam should not be given up. Karyameva, we have to do it in some appropriate way. Dana, everybody should do, but not everybody can do dana in the same way. Everybody cannot do same kind of dana or to same extent. Whatever is possible under our circumstances. Sometimes a few good words are enough for somebody who needs the consolation. Like that one, helping somebody to go to the hospital. All these people, examples are there who do dana in different ways. Yajna dana, tapaha, any kind of tapas. That is many kinds of tapas possible. Natyajam, yajna tapaha karma, natyajam, haryameva. We have to do these three things in some way or form appropriate for our life. That we have to decide. How can you do yajna tapas? Then we have to do. Then what happens if you do yajna properly? Chitta Shuddhi, mind will become pure, free from all impurities, Kama, Krodha, etc. will go away. Purity will, when purity of mind comes, Atma Sakshatkar is the next stage. He is there right now, even now, but we are not aware of his presence. Why? 24 hours he is there. But I don't know, but he is there or not, I am not feeling his presence. Why? Because my mind is a big obstruction, a concrete wall there, full of impurities. If I purify my mind by one way or other, some form of spiritual practice, what happens? It becomes transparent, his presence becomes immediately visible, experienced. So purity of mind is the goal through all these things. Yajna, dana, tapah, karma, natyajam, karyameva. Why it is so important? These three things explains in sloka number 6. etanyapita karmani, even these karmas, yajnana tapas, sangam tiktva phalani tiktva karayet. When you do yajnana tapas, we should give up attachment to the karma and karma phala. Sangam tyaktva, giving up attachment. This is my work, I am doing it, I must get the benefit. I must not be there, ideally. If it is there, give it a less lower place, bhratya, servanta dasa, like that. Then it can be there. Sangam tyaktva, phalani tyaktva, giving up fruits of action. I am doing the work, I am offering the fruits of a karma phala, I am offering to him. Whatever he does with it, it is up to him. The detachment must be there. Kartavyani iti me partha nichitam vatama. This is my firm conviction. So these are 2-3 important shlokas, yajna and tapas. Sangam tattva is important, phalani tattva important, because though we think we are the doers, we are not the karma phaladata. We cannot determine the outcome of the work. That we have studied many times. I am the doer, even if I think I am the doer, karma phala is not up to me. So many times you discussed, I do the action, something else entirely unexpected happens as a result. Why? In spite of my hard work, there is no success, failure happens. Why? Because why karma phala cannot be determined by us, controlled by us? Other factors come into play. Other factors besides what I put into the karma come into play. They determine the outcome of the work, not only what I put into, not my karma. We will study those other factors today. So these 3 things, yajnana tapa natyajam karyameva. Niyata karma we should not do. That came earlier also. Niyatam kuru karmatvaram, karmatvam, karmajaya karmana. The shloka came earlier. So same thing comes in shloka number 7. Let us do 7. Niyatasya tu sannyasah karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagah tamasah parikirtitah. 3 kinds of tyaga are described in 7, 8 and 9. Tamasic tyaga, giving up niyata karma, required duty, prescribed duty, thinking that I am not the doer. We are not in that position yet, very much body bound, Jatma Buddhi is there, but because I read in the book I am not doer, I will say I am not doing this one. That is ignorance. Niyata karmasya, niyatasya karmasya, karmanaha, sannyasa nopapadyate is improper. We should not give niyata karma. Required duty we have to do. Mohat tasya parityagaha, niyata karma parityagaha. We give up required duties because of a delusion, ignorance. That kind of tyaga is called tamasaha parityagaha. Then rajasic tyaga in shloka number 8, dukkhamityeva. Dukkhamityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. Because work is difficult to do, involves a lot of stress and effort. If you give up, then it's rajasic tyaga. For example, winter snowfall, lot of big snowfall is there in front, in your driveway, in the walkway in front of your house. It is difficult to clear snow, it's cold outside. Who wants to do that one? Then around do it, big difficult. That kind of tyaga is improper. We should do that one. Some places the government will put some fine if you don't clear the snow on the walkway in front of your house. So it is difficult. Who wants to do when you work in the cold? But we cannot give that up. It's a required duty. This rajasic tyaga. Dukkhamityeva yat karma. Kaya klesha bhaya. Kaya klesha bhaya means kaya means body. klesha means pain. If you have fear of bodily discomfort, so hard to do that when I don't want to do it. Because it is difficult to do. That kind of tyaga is rajasic tyaga. Tamasic tyaga comes there. Sorry, sattvic tyaga, tamasic already came. Sattvic tyaga comes in number 9. कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म नियतं क्रियते अर्जुन संगं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव सत्यागः सात्विको मतः. Tyaga means giving up. What we should give up already came in the 6th verse. Sangha, phala, attachment, a desire for fruits of action. Sangam tyaktva, phalam chaiva tyaktva, karmani karayet. We have to do all. That is the thing we have to give up. Attachment you have to give up. Nirmamo bhutva, nirashi bhutva, 330. Those are things we have to give up. Karma we should not give up because it is difficult to do, unpleasant. Again in the next few slokas he says, if some work is pleasant, this next sloka, if some work is pleasant, we should not become attached to it. If some work is unpleasant, we should not hate it also. Keeping our likes and dislikes aside, whatever is required to be done, yet the karma that we have to do. We should not be guided by our likes and dislikes. Keep it aside. What is required to be done, that we have to do. Pleasant or unpleasant. That's very important. So, sloka number 10. Nadveshya kushalam karma kushalena anusajjate Tyagi sattva samavishto Medhavi chinna samshayaha. Akushalam karma nadveshti. Unpleasant work one should not hate. Dvesha means hatred. Oh, this is so unpleasant. Like clearing the garbage, taking garbage out in a winter night. You don't want to do it, so unpleasant. Like, or cleaning the gutter or something like that. Unpleasant duties are there. Because they are unpleasant, we don't want to do it. That should not be done. Pleasant or unpleasant, if it is required to be done, we have to do that. Kushale karmani nanusajjate. If work is pleasant, they become attached to it. I want to do more of it. Like that. That attachment should not be there. Tyagi sattva samavishtaha. Medhavi, thinking person. Chinna samshayaha, the person whose doubts are cleared. A clearly thinking person, that person does not give up unpleasant duties and does not become attached to pleasant duties. In this at the present time, no matter what profession you choose, there are some aspects which you like, some aspects which you don't like. If you are a doctor, treating patients is what you like to do. But that is not all you have to do. You have to do a lot of other things like dealing with all the insurance companies and payment of bills and all those things, lot of paperwork. All work is like that. Bringing up children very pleasant, they bring so much joy, they also bring a lot of pain. That is all parents know. So you cannot say, we'll have only the pleasant aspect, I don't want the unpleasant aspect, you cannot separate. So keeping aside our likes and dislikes, you have to do what is equal. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Karma we cannot give up. Karma phala, the attachment we can give up. That's in the sloka number 11. I want to get to 14 today. Nahi deha vrita shakyam tyaktum karmanya sheshatah yastu karma phalatyagi satyagi vidhiyate nahi deha vrita shakyam त्यक्तुं कर्माण्यशेषतः यस्तु कर्मफलत्यागी सत्यागीत्यभिधीयते. Dehabrat means one who carries the body, holds the body. You are all Dehabrat because you are conscious of the body. Very few people are not there. Very small number of people can give body awareness, transcend body consciousness. Most of us, it's very difficult. Happens only with the rest of the body, if it happens. But right now we are all Dehavan, Deha Buddhi, we have Dehatma Buddhi, we have. So as long as we have Dehatma Buddhi, the notion that I am the doer cannot be given up. Supposing I am eating or drinking, then I cannot say I am not eating or drinking. I will be lying. I should be truthful to my experience. I am experiencing, I am drinking. But to say I am not a drinker, I am a jnani, that won't work. I have a body consciousness. So as long as you are aware of the body, so long we should not give up required duties. Cannot give up duties. Some people are there who have transcended body consciousness. Very small number of people. Even if lot of pain comes, then they don't feel it. They can rise above the body consciousness. I often told the story of Swami Turiyananda. Swami Adbhutananda was also like that. They could transcend body consciousness at will. But how many of us can do that one? So it's easy to say I am not the body, but again it is not the truth. So they have, as long as we have body consciousness, so long karmani asheshatyaktum na shakyam, cannot give up body. We cannot give up work. Cannot give up. You will force it to work. Supposing I say don't want to work, how long can I remain without working? Now to at least eat when I become hungry, that is work. So work cannot be given up as long as body consciousness is there. However, what is to be given up? Karma phala has to be given up. Attachment has to be given up. Just to karma phala tyagi, that person who gives karma phala is offered to God. Whatever I do is offering, is offer. Seva, service. Done. Whatever he does, that is up to him. I have done my part. That tyaga, karma phala tyaga, sa tyagita vidiyate. That is true. For us, tyaga means not giving up karma, but giving up attachment to karma phala. That is the kind of tyaga we have to practice. Then the next sloka is also important. Karma phala is inevitable. Karma is inevitable, karma phala is inevitable. You are stuck in that one karma phala cycle. As long as we are here, we have to, there is no exit for us. Only when we get jnana, then jnani can say, I am not the doer. No karma phala. I am not the karta, I am not the bhoktru. When can we say? When the Atma Jnana only say. Until then we are doers, karma phala also will come to us. So that is explained here. Sloka number 12. Anishtamistam mishram cha trividam karmana phalam bhavatyatyāginām pretya natu sannyāsinām kvacit. Anishtam, ishtam, mishram. Three kinds of karma phala will come. Trividam karmana phalam. Anishta means unpleasant result will come. You do some good work with good motive, but the outcome is sometimes very unpleasant, or part of the outcome is unpleasant. Part of it may be pleasant, like that. Bringing up children, part of this very pleasant experience, lot of joy they will bring. When they are very young, they play, the friends around and they bring you so much joy. But when they grow up, then what they do, we don't know. Parents know that one. So unexpected things happen. Good may happen, bad may happen. It's not under our control. Because how a child grows up is not determined entirely by what kind of upbringing we do, parents give. But child also brings its own lot of past impressions, karma, that will be playing out in the child's life. But we have no control. Child also has no control about its own past karma. So what happens as a result is unpredictable and controllable. Karma only we can do. But karma phala cannot be always predicted or controlled. So we have to accept what comes. Siddhyo siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Same thing about teaching, same thing about treating patients, same thing in all professions. Karma phala is neither predictable nor controllable. What's the solution? We have to do our part properly, whatever we can do, and accept the outcome calmly, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant. Success or failure, sukha dukkhe samay kritva, labha labha samay kritva, dayajo samay kritva. 238. These are all examples of equanimity, how to practice equanimity. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Equanimity is the essence of yoga. In everything, office work also, professional work also, family life also, health also. You can do everything you can to safeguard your health, exercise, proper diet, everything. Still sickness comes. That is the nature of life. Nothing can be done. So acceptance. Anishtam ishtam mishram ta tividam karmana phalam. To whom does this accrue? Atyaginam bhavati. Those who don't give up attachment to karma phala, to them they are stuck with karma phala. However, sannyasinam nakvachit. Sannyasi are those people, not only those who wear garva cloth, they are not the only. Anybody, any kind of color cloth you can wear. A sannyasi is one who gives up kamya karma. Kamyanam karananam karmananyasam sannyasam kavyavido. Practice that detachment inwardly. Can be living in the family, going to job, all those things. But mentally they are detached. For them, they are not bound by karma phala. Now next two shlokas, 13, 14, 15 also. Very important shloka. That answers one big question, which was answered in the second chapter, but here details are given here. The big question always is when failure comes. Something we do very hard, work very hard, and still we don't succeed. It happens all the time. In all fields of human endeavor, failure comes. Any kind of activity, failure comes. But you have done our part very nicely. Then the question is, why did it fail? So it's so hard, I put everything into it. Like this. Then Sri Krishna says, the result of our work is not controlled by us. He had said it before the second chapter. Karmanyavadikaraste mapaleshu te adhikaraha, 247. But we have always have difficulty accepting it. If I am the doer, why should I not control the outcome? That question remains. There is answered here in 13, 14. Panchaitani mahabaho karanani nibodhame Sankhye kritam te proktani siddhaye sarva karmanam. 14. Adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha pratak vidham vividasya pratak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. Very important shloka, especially 14th shloka. Answers our one big question. Why failure happens in spite of our best quality work. I put everything into it. Why did I not succeed? There is answer here. There is in the 13th sloka, Etani pancha karanani mahabhaho nibodame. 5 factors affect the outcome of your work. 5 factors. Panchetani mahabhaho karanani. Sarva karmanam siddhaye. For the success of any activity, 5 things are essential. They play a part. Not just what you put into it. That's one of the 5 factors only. My effort, where I have some control, lot of control. Then the 4 other factors are listed in the 14th verse. One is adhishthanam. Adhishthanam means Shankara says adhishthanam ichha dvesha sukha jnanadina abhijaktihi ashrayah adhishthanam shariram. It says body is the adhisthana. Body means the body includes the mind also. Sthula sharira, sukshma sharira. That is true. But this has to be a little bit expanded. The meaning of adhisthana must be expanded quite a bit. I'll tell you why. Adhisthana means environment or locus where work happens. Where does work happen? All work. Where does it happen?
Prakriti.
Body, mind. Prakriti is this one part of Prakriti. It happens here. I do the work, it happens here. I think of the work in my mind. I want to do this. I'll do it this way. I'll use this method, this material, etc. Then the action part comes. I do the work. That's one environment. And body, adhisthana is environment or locus where work happens. But that's not all. The body mind functions in a certain atmosphere. The atmosphere, environment where the work happens, larger environment, that also affects the quality of the work. So that is work environment is also adhishthanam. The office where you work, or the family in which you live. Atmosphere in the family is different from family to family. Some families' atmosphere is a calm, sattvic atmosphere. Some families is always turbulent atmosphere. What makes it different? People in the company, in the environment. Co-workers determine the environment. How things change. Karma phala is so uncontrollable, so unpredictable. Sometime later it changes. Immediately karma phala comes, one thing it happens, oh you're happy. But after some time, same karma was done, karma phala totally changes. How unpredictable it is. So adhishthanam, it plays a very important part. Other people play a part in your work, etc. Children whom you bring up, or spouse with whom you live, they all play their part in your life. And that part keeps on changing. Nothing constant about any of these things. 5 factors are there. We will go through them quickly. Adhishthanam tatha karta. Karta. Second, that where you have some control. Karta means you are the doer. Karta you can, if I am the karta, I can make a better worker by taking additional training courses. By learning new techniques, I can become a better karta. Or I can just do the minimum and be done with it. This is up to me. There are more control. I am the karta. At least I think so. There you have more control. Adhishthanam tata karta. Third thing is karanam tapratag vidam. There are different kinds of instruments. We have different kinds of instruments we use. First of all, 5 instruments of karmendriyas, also jnanendriyas. If my eyesight is not good, I cannot be a good driver or a good pilot. I have to test my eyesight and get corrective glass. That's the quality of the karanam, instrument. These are instruments I use. My hands are instruments, my legs are instruments, my mind is an instrument. These instruments are 5, there are 5 or 10. They are under my control, not under my control, but something we can at least do about them. So that is karanam. Something can go wrong. That affects your readings and the work you do based upon that one. Karanacha pratyek vidam. Fourth one is I refer Vivdashta pratyek chesta. There I have some control. I can choose this methodology or that methodology depending upon my judgment and the requirements of the job. There are some karanam, instrument, chesta, effort. Effort is more or less my control, but again depends upon what my co-workers do. I may be the best worker, but if the fellow works with me is not not trained properly or doesn't want to work, then it affects my work also. Don't have complete independence. To some extent you have independence. Chesta. Fifth one is the most unpredictable, most uncontrollable, which is called Daivam Chaivatra Panchamam. There we run into a stonework. Daivam means, here Shankara's commentary is not Adhishtanam Yudam Cheshtaha Vayaviyaha Pranapanadyaha Daivam Cha Evam Daivam Eva Cha Atra Eteshu Chaturthishu Panchamam Panchanam Purnam Adityadi Chaksuradyanugrahakam. Adityadi means sun, etc. They are the presiding deity. Daiva means presiding deity. We believe that every part of our body is controlled by one presiding deity. Eyes are controlled by Surya. So when you eye trouble, we chant Aditya Hridayam and pray to Surya. Hands are controlled by Indra. Breathing is controlled by Ashwini Devatas. Vayu Devata. Like this we have some in the Indian mythologies. That is one interpretation, Adhishtanam, that is Daivam. But Daivam also means, other commentators have interpreted Daivam as result of past action affecting result of present action. Whatever I did 20 years ago is affecting the result of what I do today. We know from our experience. When I was in college, the one course I should have taken, I did not take, this affected my work today. Something I failed to do 20, 30 years ago is affecting my result of my work today. See, past action or something I did wrong 30 years ago is affecting my life right now. I should not have done, but for ignorance, due to ignorance, whatever I did, something wrong, which is affecting my life today. Catches up with me after a long time. So effect of past actions affecting present result of present action, that much we can do. Can't go back in time and correct. I can't go back 20 years ago and take one course now. It won't work. Or why, if I did something wrong 30 years ago, I can't go back and undo it now. It won't work. Uncontrollable. Weather, for example, Daivam. Human, non-human factors. Daivam means non-human factors. You are catching a flight, something happens. Important meeting, something happens. Same thing, family life. Child goes to school, something wrong happens there. There is nothing you can do. Totally uncontrollable factors affect our work. Therefore, what is the solution? What can we do? Do the best and leave the rest. Conclusion is, Karta, Cheshta, our control, 2 out of 5. There we can maximize, do the best we can, be the best worker I can be, do the best quality work I am capable of doing. Result is, leave it, do the best and leave the rest.